Welcome back to the Weapon X program. I am your host, Weapon X, and today we're going to talk about firearm safety. You know, a couple of my subscribers seen me on the street and was asking me, yo, what's up, man? Why you ain't never do a video on firearm safety? It's a good question. Why haven't I? I mean, I always preach, firearm safety in my videos. I always talk about it, but I never really go into detail, So we're going to talk about it right now. First off, I want to say peace out to all my subscribers. Peace out to everybody that's following the Weapon X program, the Reaper. I appreciate you. Always got to show appreciation. I don't care how big I am, how little I am, or whatever. I'm always going to show appreciation. But listen, on the firearm safety, first of all, make sure you do a little research before you jump into the game with firearms. If you already know somebody that's in the game, get familiar with them. Get around them. You know what I mean? Everything is on YouTube now. Watch a couple of YouTube videos and, get familiar with the firearm first. Don't be afraid of the firearm, man. Don't you gotta overcome that fear, for one. It's a little scary in the beginning, I guess, for somebody that's never held a firearm. A lot of people like to just put their finger dead in the trigger as soon as they grab a firearm. I've seen that tons of times. But I would say, number one, get familiar first with a firearm. If you got a buddy or a female that's into firearms, get with them and let them show you a little bit, so you can at least have a little bit of firearm discipline when it comes to safety. Excuse me. Second, I would say, once you purchase your firearms, definitely go to the range to get practice. All of this is going to lead up into safety, how to secure your weapon and all that good stuff. Make sure, you damn sure take that weapon to the range, excuse me, so you can learn your firearm. Learn how to, rack your slide back. Learn how to lock your slide. Learn how to eject your magazine. Learn how to insert your magazine. Learn how to, use the slingshot method if you want to pull, your slide back, or, put your gun back into action using the slingshot method. If you don't want to use the, slide release button on your left hand side, if you don't want to use that, or your strength ain't right, get familiar. YouTube, Google. That way you get familiar with your firearms, and listen, I know what I what I need to do when I'm clearing a jam, clearing my weapon, loading your weapon. You want to know all of that. So all of that's going to lead into firearm safety. Now, rule number one, you got to have a safe to store your weapon in. Whether you got a handgun, you can go to Walmart. If you ain't got a lot of money, you can go to Walmart and get you one of them cheap, nice little safes where you can, type in your code. If you don't want your kid to know your code, make sure it ain't the same code as your cell phone, because kids be knowing your cell phone codes. So make sure it's not that. Let me pay this toll, y'all. I ain't even gonna pause. Hello.
Hey.
How you doing today?
Good.
Good. We're just paying tolls right now. That was enough money. I owe you some more. No, I didn't know if I gave you enough.
Oh, you did.
All right, take care. You too. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm out here, y'all. We live and direct. I told you I don't really cut and edit. If I mess up, I mess up. But gotta get you a safe. If it's a handgun, if you just want one or two weapons, get you a little safe that you can carry it around if you want, or you can bolt it down to the floor. So if you got kids or anything, they can't just walk away with it while you at work and take it to their homeboy house and try to pry it open or something like that. Or while you at work, they bring it in their room and try to pry it open. So get you a good, reliable safe that you can bolt down, you know what I mean, in your bedroom closet, on the floor of your bedroom closet. Get you, you know, a nice little safe from Walmart. Spend you whatever your budget can allow, you know. Now, if you want some long gun, you want shotguns, bolt action rifles, AKs or AR-15s, you know, of course you're gonna have to get a bigger safe, a longer safe, so it can, you know, hold what you're trying to put in there. And some of those safes, you know, they come with gun slots. So depending on, you know, your state of mind, what you gonna do as far as, all right, I'm gonna get me 5 handguns, 5 long rifles. Then you know you don't even need that little carrying joint unless you're gonna be going on airplanes and things of that nature. Then that's good for that too, a lockbox. So when you traveling, throw it in your trunk and you good to go. You ain't gotta worry about no municipality running down on you because your weapon is locked up. All right, once you're into the safe game, you got your safe, you know, combination. They got the old school locker room spinning combinations. They got the new digital boop, 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 boop combinations. They got the eye retina joints. You can just look at your safe and word up, you can just look at your joint and it'll open your safe up, or you can use your thumbprint like you do on your cell phone. You know, now once you do, you know, get you your gun safe and you got your safe and you're secure, and now, you know, of course that fascination comes when you want to fondle your weapon. You know, oh man, I got the new such and such, I got the new Glock 19X, oh let me, you know, safety is #1 priority. First of all, if you're gonna be, you know, messing around with your weapon, make sure the first thing you do is to make sure your weapon is clear. Rack back your slide and check your barrel so you do not have no rounds in that barrel. If it's a revolver, no rounds in the cylinders. Make sure your weapon is clear and pointed in a safe direction before you start playing and fondling with your weapon. That's a guaranteed must. I can't stress that enough, because a lot of people have negligent discharges because they just grab a weapon and, you know, fondle it, start messing with it, looking at it, enjoying it, and then boom, the joint goes off. So always make sure your weapon is clear.
Incoming call. Press the pickup button to answer.
Now my homeboy won't call me.
Press the pickup button to...
So once you make sure your weapon is clear, then you can start doing whatever it is you want to do. You know, especially if you're a newbie, make sure you got no ammo around you. You know what I mean? So you don't insert your magazine. Make sure your magazine is not loaded, so you do not reload that magazine into your weapon, drop the slide and put one in the chamber. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So make sure your magazine, if you're going to fondle your weapon without your magazine in it, make sure it's an empty magazine. No ammo, no ammo, no ammo. Now, once you're fondling your weapon, always make sure you know where you're pointing your weapon. If you got kids, make sure you're not pointing it in their room direction or the direction they can come into your room and, you know, just, you know, accidentally walk into something. You know, make sure your room is clear. Make sure the house is clear, or let everybody know, listen, I'm gonna be, you know, practicing in here, you know, stay aware of that. So always keep your weapon pointed in a safe direction. You know what I mean? You got to do that. If you are going to dry fire your weapon, once again, rack your slide back 10 times if you have to make sure your weapon is clear. If you have a revolver, spin your cylinder 10 times or whatever you have to do to make sure that cylinder is clear. There are no rounds in the cylinder. There's no rounds in the chamber. There's no rounds in the magazine. Preferably, don't even have no ammo around you. Separate the two while you're practicing with your weapon, especially for newbies. This can happen to pros too, because I've seen it happen to people on the internet that so-called are firearms instructors and stuff. We're all human, so we all make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure you do that. You got to make sure you do that. You know, that's when you're in the house. Now, when you finish with your weapon, make sure you lock your weapon up. You know, some people use trigger guards. Some people use those bore locks, where you can put the lock inside your bore and lock it, especially if you're going away for a little while and your kid's gonna be home, they home from college or they're home or whatever. You know, your weapon is secure, so you're safe. Nobody knows your code except for your wife or your husband, your boyfriend or your girlfriend. And you know, they also know how to handle a firearm. You know what I mean? You taught them or y'all learned together, but you got to make sure everything is safe and on the up and up before you know, allow your partner to be fondling with your weapons as well. Now, going to the gun range, safety is #1 priority as well. You know, you got to have your earplugs. You know, you got to make sure you got your glasses, your goggles, because them shells do fly back and they burn. So you don't want nothing hitting that eyeball and messing up your vision or nothing like that. And also, you need hearing protection, ear protection. Sometimes you could double up depending on what you're firing. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you get that as well. Now, when you do get to the gun range, in New Jersey, we're not supposed to have our magazines loaded in the vehicle. You know, ammo has to be separate from the weapon. If your weapon is in the front, well, you know, in the cabin part of your vehicle, make sure it's in a lockbox or it's in a bag, you know, unloaded, cocked back, you know, slide locked. No rounds in the joint, no rounds in there. All your ammunition should be in the trunk, in your range bag or whatever you carry your ammo in. It should be in the back of the trunk, locked down. That's the way we gotta roll in New Jersey. So that's safety as well. You know what I mean? Because they trying to get us for every little thing. So that's a part of safety as well. Now, once you get to the range and your range master tell you to set up, make sure your firearm is always pointed down range before you know, start talking to your boy, trying to be on Instagram or whatever you're trying to do. Make sure that firearm is clear, the slide is locked back, or the revolver cylinder is open, or your long rifle, the bolt is locked back. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that bolt is locked back. The weapon is pointed down range in a safe manner, so any mishaps is pointed down range. If it does discharge, it goes down range. But we're not going to have no discharges because we're going to safely secure our weapon and make sure it's unloaded. Once you do that and you get everything, you got your target set up, you got your earphones, make sure you're good, breathe a little, you know. Never put your finger on that trigger until your firearm is facing down range. Never put your finger in the trigger unless your firearm is facing down range in a safe position and you're ready to fire. Preferably when you're ready to fire is when you put your finger on that trigger. You know what I mean? Don't even stick your finger in the trigger guard. Some people do. Some people are more mindful than others. But I suggest for newbies, don't do that. You know, wait till you're ready to start firing your weapon and then put your finger in the trigger guard, on the trigger. Squeeze the trigger. Don't pull the trigger. Once you fire off all your shots, take your finger out of the trigger guard, off the trigger, out of the trigger guard, If you can, drop your magazine, cock back your slide, lay your weapon down. The range master will love you, and you'll love yourself as well. Because sometimes people keep their finger on the trigger, it's still one in the pipe, they turn around, look at you, yo, you saw that, man? Oh, boo, did you see that? Or, yo, man, get me on Instagram real quick, and boom, you done let off a shot. God forbid it went to your left or your right in one of those portals. God forbid. But always keep that finger out of the trigger guard and off the trigger, unless you are ready to fire your weapon downrange in a safe manner. You know? Now I'm gonna wrap this up because I know I'm stressing a little long. I'm on the road, so it is what it is. You know what I mean? But coming home from the range, make sure you clear all your weapons. If you got to rack back your slide or rack back your bolt a couple of times to make sure there's nothing in the chamber, do that. Make sure there's nothing in the magazine. Put your magazines back in the weapon if they're empty. Drop your slides, drop your bolts, they're empty. You checked a couple of times. Make sure you put those weapons in their cases properly. If they got locks on them, put the locks on them. If not, okay, put them in your range bag, zip that bag. Any leftover ammo, put them in a separate bag. Same thing on the way home. You put those weapons in the trunk or the ammo in the front, vice versa. Make it home safely. Once you make it home safely, do the same thing. Check your weapons a couple of times. If you want to clean your weapons, take off any dirt or debris that's on your weapon, do that. If you want to reload your weapon, because those are the weapons you use for home defense, if God forbid anybody ever come to your house, do that. You know what I'm saying? Put the rounds back in there, load it up, put it in a safe place, and you should be good to go. Anybody got any suggestions or anything I left out, leave in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Let me know if this video was helpful to you, if it was booty, if it was whack, if it was great, if it was awesome. Let me know that. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep this thing going, man. Because we here, each one teach one. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do in the streets. Each one teach one. You know what I mean? So on that note, I'm gonna say love, peace, and pistol grease. Y'all be easy. I love y'all. This is the Weapon X program. I am your host, Weapon X, aka the Reaper. You see it. Yo, y'all be easy. One love.